Hi and welcome to LGC TV. I'm Jimmy G. On today's programme we take you behind the scenes with Grant Peters and his team, where this week they've been hollow coring and sanding the greens. This is what you call the aeration of the greens. Now I'm standing here on the putting green in the rain, just for a change, and if you were able to see right round the putting green, there is no surface water at all of any kind, and that's remarkable. We've had constant rain for the last 12 hours. Not so the 18th green, which is just about less than a sand iron from here, and the second green, which is also less than about a sand iron from here, and they've both got heavy surface water lying around. So the following film I hope you enjoy, I hope it's helpful, and many thanks to Grant Peters and his team who have gave us their time this week, and it's been a pretty hectic week, I can tell you. This is one of the busiest weeks of the year. So here we go. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks very much. Thank you. Welcome to LGC TV. I have with me today our course manager, Mr. Grant Peters, and Grant's going to actually talk about the hollow coring or the aeration of the greens, which will commence next week, and Grant just wants to let you know more about this. Before we do that, Grant, could you talk us through some of the good work you've been doing at the practice green here, or the putting green?
Well, many of the members will know that the putting green's been open for a few months. The problems that we're having with the putting green at the moment is it's a different type of grass to the actual greens in the course.
Sure. Is that bent grass, Grant?
It's fescue. Fescue. And the greens on the course are a mixture of fescue, bents and poa. So over the next coming years we're going to have to try and make a transition for the grasses that are on the golf course onto this green to make it more similar to the putting characteristics. Yeah. And we plan on doing that by overseeding and also taking the cores off of the greens when we hollow core, putting them in a cement mixer, busting them up, and then using that to top dress over the putting green, which will have seed and everything in it, so hopefully make the transition quicker.
Excellent. It's all very technical, yeah. But it lets the members know exactly how we do things here. Going on to the big job next week, the hollow coring, the greens aeration. Could you tell us more about it?
Well, basically coring removes thatch, and thatch is the biggest problem we've got here at the moment. Over the last week you've probably been noticing that many of the greens are flooding, not holding water, and just basically losing rounds and having to shut the course.
Yeah, with the wet weather we've been having, we've had to cancel some competitions, which is a shame, but it's never easy. But could you show us maybe some breakdown of the thatch you're talking about here?
Well, what I'll do is explain. Basically, we'll look at 2 or 3 greens. We'll look at the ideal situation, which is the putting green, which is USJ spec, firm, and then we'll look at a couple of problem greens, i.e. number 2, number 9, and we'll look at the drain lines on number 10, and I'll explain the relationship between thatch and poor drainage and soft greens and poor characteristics.
Right, we'll go off and do that now then. Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with the putting green and show you the ideal situation. A green with little thatch and good drainage capabilities. If I bring this plug closer, basically you see the grass on top. This layer here is basically the thatch, and then you've got a free draining soil, which is the sand based greens. Now that layer there is nice and pliable. It's not too sticky, it's not too tough, so the roots can break through that easily, and as you can see they're 6-7 inches deep. So in an ideal situation, what we want to turn the greens into is have a nice layer about an inch, 2 inches down, which the grass can grow through and get down to the nutrients and water. What we don't want is a build up of massive big thatch here, which becomes like a sponge, and I'll show you that in the second green where we're going next.
And I guess that's why the greens flood then so often.
But this green should drain up to about 500 millilitres of rain an hour, So basically you could put a hose on this and it should drain, but we will still need to core this green, top dress this green, because thatch is a living organism and it continues to be produced by the grass and above.
Yeah, we've seen that recently, Grant, where the green flooded after torrential rain, but it was quick to drain,
yeah.
Within a few minutes, and you wouldn't even have known we had the rain. So, yeah, I can see where you're coming from.